I was not assaulted because I was drunk. I was assaulted because he chose to assault me. He essentially said, I want what I want, and I don't care what you want. And what's fascinating to me is that because it happened at a fraternity, people almost treated it like a given. They said, well, of course this happens. And I was the variable who was expected to change. They said, well, this wouldn't have happened, if you had just had less to drink. And I continue to say, it would have happened. It just would have happened to somebody else and not me. I'm not interested in self-protection or self-preservation. I'm interested in everybody's safety. And when you continue to go after the victim, then you're not reducing the number of sexual assaults. You're letting them run rampant. And meanwhile, you're hurting and berating her. So then we won't go anywhere.
There was also a running narrative that painted him as the swimming star who had a bright future, and you were painted in the narrative as a drunk woman.
I was the drunk body that was found. I didn't have any characteristics or hobbies. There was nothing to imply that I also had a family that cared about me, that I also had dreams of my own that I wanted to get back to. It was fascinating to see how quickly he was humanized, that he was seen as this good boy who had simply deviated for a brief moment from his narrative, and that it became a task of getting him back to the future he was owed, the life he was on track to living, because it would be a waste to, not use the skills and talents he was given. And that's the narrative I had to live under for the duration of court proceedings.
But in what world do we live in where a woman is violated, where she's stripped of everything, and then she goes into the legal world and is again stripped of everything?
Yeah, I think there has to be a way of achieving justice where we aren't constantly dehumanizing the victim. It's inappropriate to constantly be diminishing her, to discredit her, to degrade her routinely. For us to sit and have to take the abuse, we're not really permitted to get angry. You will appear defensive and less credible to the jury. I think the hardest part is not being able to express emotion or really fight for yourself.
It must be hard for yourself. I mean, you must go, why me?
Yeah. I don't think, why me?
Do you?
No, because it could have happened to anybody. I think all of us go through some type of trauma in the span of our lives. This happens to be the category that I was given. I had to learn how frustrating and suffocating and oppressive of a trauma it was. And that was difficult to learn. But I'm also grateful that growing up, I was equipped with the talent of being in touch with my feelings, not being stigmatized against mental illness. And I've always loved writing. And so I'm happy that I could convert my experience to a narrative I could share and learn from.
Hello, I'm Sarah Abo. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.